What's up, a Cinema Shogun here, and a few days have passed since the release of the final report from the investigation into Bob Saget's death. But the cover-up still continues. The cover-up is still ongoing because now the media is trying to spread rumors that Bob Saget may have been dealing with some secret health issues before he passed away. And I am calling bogus BS, and you already know that. What the media is doing right now, they're trying to sow seeds of doubt. They're trying to sow these little seeds of doubt. So when people look into this case in the future, they, immediately think, oh, well, maybe Bob Saget was dealing with these secret health issues. When in reality, I don't believe that's the case at all. I think we have to take into account the fact that Bob Saget spent much of his life in front of the camera. He wasn't as popular and famous as he was back in the day, but this guy had a podcast. He was working on different TV shows and movies. Hell, he was literally on tour, traveling the country, doing stand-up sets, sometimes 2 or 3 hour sets at a time. And not just that, he was driving himself to and from these stand-up sets. So no, I don't believe that he was dealing with any big secret health issues that would cause him to slip on a carpeted floor and die. No, I am not buying that narrative. Now, I know he's an older dude. He's in his 60s. Of course, he probably had some health issues, don't we all? But I'm not going to sit here and believe that he was dealing with issues serious enough that would cause this to happen. Let's just look at the cause of death. It's not like he died from some type of health issue. He died supposedly from falling and hitting his head. Now, are there medical issues out there that would cause someone to fall and hit their head? Maybe was he having seizures or something like that? That's a possibility, but once again, he lived his life in front of the camera. What, do y'all think that he just has seizures at the Ritz-Carlton in Orlando after his stand-up sets and nowhere else? How is it this guy is touring the country and no one has ever seen him have a seizure and no one who has talked to him has ever talked to him when he was in bad health? Everyone said that he was doing good that day. Everyone that talked to him that day said that he was bright and right at him. He was sharp as ever. There was no slurring of words. There was no difference in how he acted. If anything, he was on point that day. People who had talked to him weeks prior, all of them said he was doing fine. There was never no mention of any secret health issues. So I don't want them to go ahead and start trying to run with this narrative because we already know it's BS. What's happening is they know that they didn't do a good job at covering this up. They did a shit job at covering this up. They told us 3 bogus lies in a row, changed all of their lies every time we called them out for it, and every time we did a little bit of investigating, which wasn't much. Every time we hopped on Google and looked into the hotel room that Bob Saget stayed in, we would basically prove that their little cause of death they were coming up with was false. So I'm not buying this shit. They're trying to say now that, maybe the reason the family blocked these records is because they don't want any of his health issues to get out there in the public. They don't want the public to know that Bob Saget was struggling with these health issues. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. What's embarrassing about dealing with a health issue? No one blocked these reports from coming out due to some secret health issues that no one wanted anyone to know about. So once again, another bogus BS lie. But the media does this all the time. What they're trying to do is they're trying to memory hold the situation. They're trying to make it so all right, 5 years from now, if someone gets interested in Bob Saget and the mystery surrounding his death, and they want to look into his death, they're going to get on Google, they're going to get on the internet, and they're going to search it, and what's going to come up? Not my video telling them the truth about, this whole investigation was shady. What's going to come up is a bunch of these mainstream news articles talking about how he may have secretly been dealing with health issues. Even if the guy was secretly dealing with health issues, he died from a blow to the head that neurologists, brain surgeons, head surgeons, they all agree that it doesn't look like he slipped and fell. They said it looked like he dived head first from 30 feet in the air. And this isn't just me talking. These are people who do brain surgeries, work on trauma patients who have massive injuries to their head, skull, and brain. And they've never seen anything like this. But they want us to believe that he slipped and fell in a padded, cushioned room at the Ritz-Carlton, in a suite at the Ritz-Carlton. An expensive room at that. And I mean, everything is cushioned. The headboard is a freaking cushion. So they changed the story multiple times about how he died. And now this is what they're going to do. They're going to run with these different narratives about, all of these different health issues he could have and may have been suffering from, even though there's plenty of evidence out there to show that this guy was in pretty good health. Literally, in case you were doubting his health, you could go to his last post, literally 45 minutes before he died. He posted on Twitter saying that he never felt so alive and he felt young again and he felt great. That wasn't a guy that was dealing with secret health issues. That was a guy that was happy. Or maybe that was a guy who knew that his time was coming. Because there was a lot of weird things happening leading up into his death. I think the things that stick out to me the most is how he seemed to be talking to his friends and loved ones in the days and weeks leading up to his death, almost as if it was going to be his last time talking to them. He made sure in those last couple of weeks, and maybe it was just a coincidence, and if it was just a coincidence, then look at God. Look at God, because in the weeks leading up to his death, everyone he talked to, he made sure that they knew where he standed with them. And if you ask me, that's something that a man does when he feels like something's wrong or something's going to happen to him. Because men, we're not really good at expressing our feelings a lot. Now, I don't know how Bob Saget is, but I'm just saying that if you look at the messages and the last conversations he had with some of these people, it would lead you to believe that, maybe this guy feels like, this may be the last time he's going to talk to this person. He really wants to make sure that these people know that he loves them and where he stands with them. So that was really odd. But as far as these secret health issues, I mean, honestly, folks, you have to be able to look past the BS, because if there were some health issues, they would have said this from the beginning. Don't try to come, months after his death, after we've basically picked apart every little fake cause of death that you've thrown out there. Don't try to come out here now with this. You didn't say this from the beginning. Don't say it now. And we all know damn good and well the family didn't block these reports from coming out due to some underlying health issues. Now, what I do know is that Bob Saget, they found some over-the-counter medication in his room, but his toxicology report came back clean. So there was no substances, within Bob Saget. So I don't know exactly what that medication was, but I do know that there's been a lot of rumors swirling online ever since he passed away that Bob Saget just got the booster shot. And I don't get into that too much. Listen, y'all, I like having this channel on YouTube. I like being able to make these videos for you all. And there's conversations and things that I would like to talk about that I can't necessarily talk about here. Now, I could get away with talking about more things in my members only section, which I need to make more members only videos. I'm trying to get everything organized, get enough members in there so we could really start having some interesting conversations. But I haven't really gotten it fully together yet. But if you all would like to become a member today, that would be awesome. A little self-plug there. Become a member today so we could have conversations about things that I can't talk about here. The join button is right on my page. But I would like to remain on YouTube, so I'm not trying to touch too much on those things. But yes, I know that he did just get a booster. No, I don't think that's what caused this, because at the end of the day, I think something was done to Bob Saget. Now, yes, I know I've seen several videos and I've paid attention to a lot of the things going on. I did see that one video with that comedian who was joking about how she just got the booster, and she was basically rubbing it in people's faces, calling people stupid for not getting the booster, and then she passed out on stage and hit her head. So yeah, that was weird. But at the end of the day, I don't think that Bob Saget passed out and fell on the ground and hit his head hard enough on a carpeted floor at the Ritz-Carlton to split his skull from the back all the way to his eye bones. I cannot buy it. I'm never going to buy it. I mean, if they zoned in on maybe he fell in the bathroom, that would be more believable, but we already know that was ruled out because of no blood, no hair in the bathroom, so it looks like the bathroom wasn't even used yet. So I can't. And I'm trying, I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, even though I don't like the word conspiracy, and the word conspiracy in itself was a conspiracy. I think the conspiracy theory, that was actually created by the CIA or something. Look into that. Maybe that's an interesting conversation we could have. But I don't want to sound like, oh, I just don't want to believe anything, any official reports. There's got to be something here. I don't want to seem like I'm forcing it, but at the end of the day, I'm never going to believe that Bob Saget slipped and cracked his head open, in several places from falling and hitting his head on the carpeted floor in the Ritz-Carlton. I'm not going to believe that. And I really don't like the fact that now, after this final report came out, instead of just leaving it what it is and letting people do what they will with that final report, now they're going to try to bury it. They're going to try to bury the lead, and they do this all the time. They're going to try to launch all of these BS news articles to bury the real facts. And maybe we should make a video about that too one day, because the media, mainstream media, loves to do that. They love to do that. They like to muddy the waters, to muddy the truth, to taint the truth with all of this other bogus nonsense speculation. At the end of the day, if y'all felt comfortable with this final report, then leave it at that. But they don't feel comfortable with the final report because they know that we're going to pick it apart. I looked into the final report. I made a video about it. I looked into it for like 30 minutes. And already, bogus, 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 And you have to think about the fact that they changed the story about how they said he died multiple times after we called him out for their BS. Oh, he hit us on the headboard. All it took for us was to go to Google and realize the headboard was a freaking cushion. Oh, he fell in the bathroom. All it took for us was to go through the initial report and see that there was no blood or hair found in the bathroom. Oh, well, now he fell and hit his head on a carpeted floor. People don't just slip and fall on carpets that often, let alone, hit their head hard enough to split their skull in two. So I just think everything's highly sus here. The fact that they blocked the reports from coming out is highly sus. And the fact that they feel the need, after the final report, to come out with these bogus news stories just makes me think even more that there's something weird here. Because if y'all were comfortable with that final report, you could have left it at that, but you're not. You want to bury it. You want to bury it as deep in the internet algorithms as you can. So you're going to pile on all these fake news stories about these possible illnesses Bob Saget had and what have you. But I want to know your thoughts about all of this down in the comments below. Obviously, I have a lot of thoughts of my own. And maybe I'll have to talk about this a little bit more, because there is something that I did not pick up on, that I did just pick up on today. And that's some of the information that was barred from coming out. So I got to touch on that. There's just this one little tidbit of information that I don't know why I missed it, but I did. So I want to talk about that later. But for now, I want to hear your thoughts about this. Do you think Bob Saget was secretly suffering from some type of illnesses that only affected him when he was behind closed doors and no one else was there at the Ritz-Carlton? A selective disease that only struck and affected Bob Saget when he was by himself in hotel suites? Or do you think that he was whacked? Let me know down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and as always, find some time out of your day to not slip and fall.